By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to create a print-ready book for Amazon KDP with Designrr. We'll cover how to create the interior file, the cover file, and the exact workflow to turn your content into something that you can actually self-publish as a paperback or a hardcover book. In fact, this video is going to save you a lot of time and confusion. Let's get into it. Now, before we jump into the actual workflow, there are a few really important things you need to know first about how this feature works. First of all, Designrr does not do the actual print-on-demand publishing or fulfillment for you. What it does is it helps you to create the print-ready file in the exact sizes and formatting that you need. And then Amazon KDP is what handles the actual print-on-demand, which is the printing and the shipping of your book when someone makes a purchase. And when you publish on KDP, you need two separate files: your interior manuscript PDF, which are the inside pages of your book, and the cover PDF, which is the full wraparound cover. Now, the other important thing to know before we start is that there is a minimum page requirement, depending on what type of book you want to create. For example, if you want to create a paperback, then your content needs to be at least 25 pages long. And if you want to create a hardcover, then your content needs to be at least 75 pages or more. Now that's out of the way, let's jump into the actual workflow and I'll show you how this works. So here we are in Designrr, and now to create your print-ready book, you need to come up to the top and select this option labelled New Print Book. Now, if you don't see this option available in your account, then it means you're not on the right Designrr plan, so you do actually need the premium plan for this. And I'll tell you about Designrr pricing a bit later in the video. Anyway, let's continue and click on New Print Book. And now here, Designrr asks us what we want to use for our baseline. So what this means is what we want to use for our content. So if I select from this drop down here, I have the options to either import my content if you've already got your content written. For example, if it's in a Google Doc or a Word doc, for example, you can select this option here and you can see all the different formats that you can import your content from. So with Designrr Premium, you can actually import your content from a Word doc, Google Doc, a blog post URL, a YouTube video, a podcast, a PDF, or any other type of video format. Alternatively, if you don't have any content written yet, then you can also use Designrr's Word Genie feature. And Word Genie is Designrr's AI writing tool that can write the entire contents of your book for you. So you do have that option available to you. Now, I'm not suggesting you just publish AI content unchecked, but you can certainly use this to write the first draft for you and then go through and heavily edit the content. Anyway, if you do want to see step by step how to use Word Genie to write the entire contents of your book for you, then you can watch this video that I'm showing on the screen right now. And I've also left a link to that video in the description box below this video, so it's easy for you to find it. That said, for this demo, I'm going to be importing content that I've already written in a Google Doc. So in order to do that, we need to select this option right here. I'm going to select Import from Google Doc. And now I can paste in the URL for my Google Doc right here. But before you do that, you just need to make sure that your Google Doc is set to shareable. That way, Designrr will then be able to read your content and import it into the Designrr editor. So let me show you how to do that quickly. So here in my Google Drive, I've got this content written about puppy training basics. I'm going to turn this content now into a print-ready book with Designrr. So once your content is in your Google Drive right here, in order to share this with Designrr, you need to come up to the top right corner and click on this little dots menu. And then from the drop down, you'll see this option that says share. But before you click on copy link, you first need to click this share button right here. And by default, general access right here will be set to restricted. So what you need to do is you need to click this little drop down button and then change this option to anyone with a link. And now you can copy your link right here. And now your link will be readable by Designrr. And now we head back to Designrr and we select the import from Google Doc option. And in this field, I can enter my URL for my Google Doc. Click on add, then click next, and then click the let's start option. And now here, pretty much instantly, Designrr has pulled all our content into an editor where you can see how your content is going to be laid out. And you can also make changes at this stage if you want to as well, just by placing your cursor anywhere in the content and adding more content as you go. And in the top right corner, we also have these options to insert a table of contents. So of course, Designrr knows which chapter appears on which pages. So this is very handy to use Designrr's table of contents feature. So if I wanted to add a page right here before the introduction for my table of contents, I can just place my cursor at the end of the content on the preceding page and then hit return on my keypad. And now I've created a new blank page. And right here, I can enter my table of contents. So I come up to the top right and click on the table of contents button. Straight away, Designrr has created our table of contents for us and inserted it into our book, all with the correct page numbers. So that's super handy, going to save you a lot of time. And then back in the top right again, we have an option to change the style of the fonts. So if you wanted to adjust the font for your headings and your body content, got lots of nice options to choose from here. Then we have a save button and also this option to type with your voice. But instead of typing, you can simply select your language from the drop down right here and then click on the button to start listening. At that point, you start talking and Designrr will turn that into more content for you. Anyway, before moving on, if we look in the top left corner, we'll also see this drop down where Designrr has already selected the best sizing for us for our content, but you can change that if you want to. Okay, so now let's move on to the cover creator and create how we want our book to actually look. So we're going to come up to the top right and click on the next button. And Designrr here is going to ask us if we want to create our book as a paperback or a hardcover. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, your content needs to be at least 75 pages in order to be able to create a hardcover book. My content's only about 30 pages, so I'm going to go ahead with the paperback, but the process is basically the same. And we've already selected our book trim size. You can adjust the size unit if you want to. I'm going to keep it in millimeters. And this is also a nice feature. You can choose the paper type. So if you want black ink on white paper or black ink on cream paper, premium color on white paper or standard color on white paper. Let's go for black ink on cream paper. And now let's hit the Start Cover Creation button. And Designrr then pulls us into the editor to create our cover. And what's nice here is Designrr isn't just creating a flat cover image. It's helping you build a proper print-ready cover for KDP. So that includes things like the front cover, the spine, the back cover, and also takes into account print-specific stuff like bleed, trim, safe areas, which is exactly what you want when you're creating something for Amazon KDP, because this kind of stuff can become a real headache if you're trying to piece it together manually. So here in the cover editor, you can actually create your cover from scratch from a blank page if you want to, or you can use one of Designrr's pre-created templates here in the left sidebar and then edit that template. Or also, third option, you can also import a cover. For example, if you've created it in a tool like Canva, or perhaps you've paid a professional designer on a platform like Upwork to create your cover for you. You can certainly do that and then import it into Designrr. So I'll show you that option in a minute too. But for now, just for speed, if we choose one of these pre-designed templates in Designrr, if we scroll down, we've got actually quite a lot to choose from here. So once you see one you like, you just click to select. So I'm just going to go for this one. And this is going to now pull this template into our editor where we can start working on it and changing it around how we want it. Now here in the editor, we can see the bleed and the trim and the safe areas, which makes this tool so much easier to work with rather than creating this cover manually. Now, usually Designrr will also pull our title and our subtitle in from our content, but for some reason it hasn't quite done it the way it should on this time, but that's fine. You can just click on anything you want to change in your template and make your changes. And then you have the editor in the right hand side where you can adjust things like your size and the line height and the color. So this is really a simple tool to work with. And then I can just grab a hold of any of my elements and move them around where I want them. So I need to just change my subtitle there as well. Anyway, that'll do for now. This is just a demo for you guys. I'm not actually going to publish this book. And now here on the back page, we can see that Designrr has created a little bit of a write-up on our book. And this is amazing because it's taken this from our content, but it's sitting behind this barcode right here. So I can just click on the text and just drag that into position, just like that. And now with the images, these ones that are in our template aren't really that suitable to dog training. So I can come to the left sidebar here and I can select media. And straight away, Designrr is already suggesting which kind of images will be right for us because it knows the content of our book is all about puppy training. And you have three options here when it comes to your images. So first of all, you can click this button at the top to upload your own images and drag and drop them into Designrr. Or the second option is you can click this button here to find more images that you can use on Unsplash. So Designrr has a license with Unsplash, so you're free to use any of these images that you want. Or the third option, Designrr also has Word Genie, which will create images for you with AI. And some of these actually look pretty decent. So if I quickly show you this, if I click on Generate Image, first we'll see all these images here that I've already created in the past, and I've created these with AI in Designrr. But if you want to create a new image, you can give a prompt right here to Word Genie to tell it what you want in your image. So for this demo, I've just put puppy leash training, click on the generate button, and now in just a few seconds, Word Genie is going to create those images for us. And it's created 4 images right here for us to choose from. If I click on any of those images, it's going to pull it into our cover where we can resize it and move it where we want it, just like that. Now I can of course do the same thing with Unsplash images if I come to the media library. If I choose Unsplash right here, I can search for images. Now these are real images, not images generated with AI. I can also click on any of these and pull them into our cover as well. Then once it's in, move it around and drag it where I want it, just like that. Now alternatively, you do also have the option to set an image as the background instead of relying on the template. So what you can do here is you can click on your cover and then you'll see the menu bar on the right hand side changes. And the second option is this cover image. So if I select from this drop down here, I can click on choose image, and then I can select any image I want to, whether it be from the Unsplash gallery or an image you create with AI in Word Genie or an image that you upload yourself. Just an example, let's go with an Unsplash image. I can choose this one for these 2 dogs, for example, and straight away Designrr switches that out. Now, of course, that's not a very good image for a front cover, but I'm just showing you what's possible. Now, if you already had a cover that you created in a platform like Canva, or you paid someone to create it professionally for you, Then you can choose the same option for the cover image and then click on upload. And now here you can drag and drop your pre-designed cover in right here. Just make sure first that you've created that cover with the right dimensions that are going to fit your book. Now, if you don't like any changes you've made, then you can come up to the top and click on the undo button right here and keep clicking until you get back to the version that you are happy with. So you've got a lot of freedom and creative control here to really experiment with how you want your cover. So just to speed things up so I don't waste your time, I'm just going to make a few more changes to this cover and get it looking more appropriate for dog training. Okay, there you go. Now our cover is looking much more appropriate for dog training. One thing I almost forgot is the spine of our book. So in the right sidebar here, we've got 3 options for front cover, spine or back cover, and selecting each of these will give you control over each of those aspects of your cover. But when it comes to the spine, just be aware that this book I'm creating right now has only got about 25 or 30 pages in it. But here, Designrr says page count should be at least 80 plus pages in order for you to be able to create the spine design. Otherwise, the spine is just too narrow on a smaller book and you won't be able to include any content on it. So just bear that in mind. So once you've got your cover looking how you want it, this final part is really simple, but also really important. So once we've clicked on Save Changes, let's move to the Preview button. Now here, Designrr will show you a preview of what your cover is going to look like. So I think that's looking pretty good, but if you do want to make edits, you've got this button right here where from the drop down, you have the option to go back and edit both your content or your cover. That said, if you're happy, then click the next button to move on to the final stage. And now here, this is the important bit. You have 2 buttons and you've got to download 2 separate documents. This first one right here, which is download cover PDF. If we click on this, this will download that cover to my computer. And this second button to download the publishable PDF, click on this and that will download the internal content of your book too. And Amazon KDP needs both files. It needs the inside of your book with the content and it needs the outside wrapper. So at this point, all that's left for you to do is upload both those files to Amazon KDP and you're good to go. Now, if you want to see exactly how to turn your book into an audiobook with just a few clicks with Designrr, then watch this video right here. Or if you want to discover 3 hidden lifetime deals on Designrr pricing so you can get lifetime access to this tool, then watch this video right here.